So here's the thing, it's a BoF. It's not a presentation, but it's a discussion. Please use, if you're gonna speak, please use the microphone. Jan Simon has a microphone. I think there's another one. We'll appoint another runner, maybe Ambassador Ishii. He's an evangelist. He can run the microphone around. First bit of housekeeping. Tomorrow, workshop. I think on the schedule right now, I'm showing that we're gonna start at 9. We had a request from Jerry to move. Where is my cursor? Okay, this is going to be a bit of an eye chart, I think, for you guys, but. So we were originally going to start at 9, but I think Jerry asked us to move these topics, to later in the afternoon. It looks like we want to talk about SOVD. So question is A, do you want to start at 9:30 instead of 9? Or do you want to start early at 9? Who votes for 9:30? 9:30, okay, so we're gonna start at 9:30 tomorrow if you're coming, not 9 o'clock. We will lead off with Ito-san's topic, SOVD. How long do you need for that? 1 hour, okay. 1 hour. Then SBOM, SPDX tooling, how long do you need for that?
Me? No. I mean, half an hour.
Half an hour.
We can squeeze it in between. I mean, this is mainly about what you guys need. I need to know what you need.
Yeah. Okay, so that's half an hour. Now, I asked Jerry, and again, he didn't answer me yet. We do not have security. Yeah. Yes, they know that. Well, that was my question: is do we need Jerry for Unified HMI? So we'll do Unified HMI before lunch, and then we'll do these topics. We'll do these topics after lunch. Are you leaving? What time? When are you leaving, Kusakabe-san? Are you leaving tomorrow or Saturday?
Tomorrow, 5 p.m.
Oh, you're leaving here at 5 p.m. Okay. I want to wrap up by 3-4 o'clock at the latest anyway. So, all right, great. Anybody else have anything they want to add to the agenda for tomorrow? Okay. I'm getting some real-time messages. We don't have security tonight. Demos have to be broken down. We already know that. On the way to the venue, yeah. Okay. But she didn't, okay. Folks should be in the lobby at 5:50. All right, now, let's go back to, now I know some of you are thinking, hey, oh, come on. Why doesn't this work? I gotta swap displays again. And again. I know some of you are thinking, hey, Walt, this is a little boring. So if you're bored, we have the survey. So what the OSPO expert group team is interested in is how can we encourage more participation by automotive companies? And so we carefully designed this survey by a team of experts in survey making, right, Ito-san? Team of experts designed this survey. So there's an English version and there's a Japanese version. Unfortunately, there's not a German version or Dutch or French or anything like that. But so you can answer in either one. And so if you're sitting here bored or if you've got some time, please fill out the survey. Ideally, we'll get to, say, 50 to 100 responses in the next few weeks. So fill out the survey. And then finally, people are still getting the QR code. All right. So starting discussion topics. So we'll take about 10, 15 minutes for discussion, maybe a little longer, depending on how long Jan Simon wants to give me. But I want to wrap up by 5:30 so you can. So the one I wanted to lead off was, well, first of all, what did you think of this week's AMM? Last year we made the decision to switch from a two-track event to a one-track event. So keeping it single track so everybody's kind of on the same page. I think that's working pretty well. Okay? Yeah. It also, by the way, it also saves us money. One room is a lot cheaper than two. So I guess I'm gonna this is kind of twofold. If you could change anything about the AMM or AGL, what would it be? Get a better community leader. Okay, I get it. Huh? What's that? It's perfect. AGL's perfect? Oh, well, okay. What I would like is for companies to participate more. And by participating more, it's not necessarily committing code, but I know and I've said this numerous times at numerous events, I know there's a lot of people who've downloaded AGL and have played with it, but we don't get any feedback. So even just providing feedback, what did you do with it? What issues did you find? How can we improve things? The other thing, and I think I'm going to try to take this on as a bit of a mission this summer, is try to improve our documentation. So I'm going to try to work on that while Jan Simon's on vacation. What else would you improve?
Try to get more OEM participation, let's say in Europe maybe, or the US. I don't know how feasible that is, but
We're always talking to U.S. OEMs about possibly joining. You know, Ford has come in and out a few times. And I will say that in Denver 2 weeks ago at OSS North America, there were a number of people from Ford and from GM who seemed to be interested and seemed to be knowing what we were doing. So I'm hoping we can continue those conversations. And in Europe, you know, I think Mercedes is still a member. We've had Volkswagen as a member in the past. But I would say even when those companies, North American and European, for the most part, even when they were members, they didn't really participate very much. Yeah, I agree. I would love to see more engagement from OEM, non-Japanese OEMs. Okay. Oh, Ito-san.
Thank you. Regarding the participation of the North American guys, so you mean
Survey, you're bored? Survey. Keep going.
you mean so North American OEM guys do not participate. So any communities like us.
They participate in some other communities, I think, but not really.
For example, Sophie or
Covisa, Ford is a member of Covisa.
And if so, what I thought is, what about promoting the collaboration between the communities?
Yes.
AGL and Covisa also.
So particularly Sophie, Covisa.
I'm not sure if people like.
What's that?
I'm not sure if people like Eclipse Foundation. But anyway. So I thought.
With the Eclipse Foundation, is that what you said? Or with the Eclipse Foundation, is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay.
But anyway, so in general, so I thought so it could be a good idea. So promoting the inter-community, collaborative activity.
Okay.
Ishii-san.
Ambassador Ishii.
I totally agree with Ito-san's idea because this time we appealed about our latest collaboration between AGL and DEN and DEFA, and I think that that was very successful this time. And in that way, we can expand such collaboration with the other. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, I do have something I want to add to the agenda tomorrow, which involves collaboration. The Yocto project, we are gold members of the Yocto project, at least for this year, but the Yocto project has sent around an email yesterday or the day before asking the membership for what are our priorities for their roadmap. So I think I would like to talk tomorrow about maybe spend 15 minutes, 30 minutes, we'll see how it goes. You guys who've been using Yocto project, what improvements do we need to see from them, or what features do we need to see from them? Part of that is, I think, the SPDX discussion. I think we want to push them to. Yeah. So I think I want to add that to that discussion. Yeah, because I want to have a coherent answer from basically all of the AGL members. And if you're not attending tomorrow, by the way, and you have some suggestions for new features to be added to the roadmap, or issues that you'd like to see addressed by the Yocto project, email Jan Simon or myself or both of us. But we need that information in the next week, because they are asking us to submit our list of things by the end of, within 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, and with Jan Simon going on vacation, I really want to get that into them by the end of next week. So if you have ideas for improvements or things in the Yocto project, let us know pretty quickly. Yes, we do have a dial-in possible tomorrow. Yes, absolutely. I have the cameras and the speakers and everything. I think because Jerry will be dialing in, among others. Okay, anybody else have any great ideas? Or not so great ideas? I'll take those too. So I think we did an automotive BoF at FOSDEM earlier this year, and I did a BoF last week. I called it an automotive BoF. So just in general, what problems bug you the most? And how can open source, not just AGL, but open source or AGL, help you solve them? What? A guy from Philly loves talking? I can't imagine.
I'm motivated by the Eagles' glorious Super Bowl victory, Walt. So, I guess what's bugging us is the lack of acceptance of open source and even Linux by the industry, at least in, Europe and the U.S. It seems that the Japanese, to their credit, are more accepting at the moment, but it's really, it's having a difficult time, and I don't know what the problem is, but maybe AGL or somebody can figure out what the problem is a lot of OEMs, again, not necessarily the ones from Japan, going to forums saying open source, open source, open source, and then you get their RFQs and it's like mandating closed source solutions, right?
Right.
And I don't know and I don't really know what the problem is. I mean, except for.
Do you think there's a disconnect between engineering and procurement?
Yes.
In these companies?
Yep. Or even the upper management strategy and the, let's say, project management level.
Yeah.
And I understand the project managers who want to reduce their risk, because if they get into hot water in their project, then they're going to get beaten up day in, day out, right? And they don't want that.
Well, and you and I were talking yesterday about a project that we were both familiar with at one of our former employers, where essentially an OEM was left with a hole in the car because the tier one fail to deliver the product.
Yep.
And that's just an utter nightmare. And the product manager for the vehicle line he's the guy whose neck is on the line for that.
So find a way to, without a lot of risk, get Linux open source into the vehicles without project managers at OEMs having to get beaten up.
Yeah, and that's some of the questions that we're trying to ask in the survey is, what are you seeing barriers with upper management, with middle management? Sometimes it's middle management, right? We really didn't ask the question about procurement versus product managers, but yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And one of the idea I have is to start the spreading open source solutions, and not from the software in product, but the other for the other. One example is recently we have security assurance for the not only for the product software, but kind of supply chain management or that kind of things. And there's so many things we have to do: security assurance, license compliance, and my idea is AGL has continuous build system already available for everyone, and to integrate such kind of assessment workflow to be automated, policy-based automation, for example, and it can be used for the OEMs, and I think it could be one of the motivation OEMs to decide using AGL UCB, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's one idea.
I just want to say, if I wake up tomorrow and I check the survey and there's not 10 responses, I'm going to be very, very ornery tomorrow. Oh, I have a better nickname. You're an evangelist, Reverend Ishi. Reverend Ishi. And that's what an evangelist preaches.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That's all he could say. Any other comments? Three minutes. Oh, we got one in the back. Maybe he's got a better idea for a nickname.
Thank you. Hello. So we heard a lot about VertIO during these days, and that VertIO for cameras is on the horizon. And I was wondering if anybody had thought about how AGL would consume that, because we have VertIO V4L2, for example, but that will only bring in a single video device into the guest. And that is not enough for today's modern cameras. So my question is, I think if...
You know who's thought about that? George. Right? No, not VertIO with cameras?
No, we haven't really looked into, sorry, yeah.
You've looked at GStreamer or LibCamera and GStreamer for cameras, but not really VertIO?
Yeah, we haven't really looked at VertIO for cameras or anything really VertIO, yeah. Yeah, my guess is it would make more sense to be running closer to the hardware, so in the hypervisor or somewhere like outside, and then provide the stream with some internal API.
Yamaguchi-san, have you thought about that at all? Jerry might be the right guy to ask, but he's not here. Well, I would say bring that one up either on the mailing list or on Discord, and let's Let's think about that one some more. I think in general, AGL has not done a great job of addressing camera interfaces to date. And it's something that we talked about adding this year, and Collabora had offered to do some work, but it's just not something we've been able to get done yet. We recognize it as a deficiency, though.
I can maybe answer from Intel side what we designed, that you have different inputs for different cameras, and you can put partition that is using this camera, so signal of the camera to that partition that you want to use it. So some of the signal is safety related, like driver monitoring, and some of it is not. For video call, so you can split the functionality, and you have QM cameras and then your ADAS cameras that can go to different inputs and differently routed inside of the system. Right? So generally, you need to do proper partitioning in hypervisor.
All right. Any last questions or thoughts? No? Okay. I think this has been a great AMM. Thank you to all the speakers, everybody who participated, and we will go over to the reception, or whatever they're calling it. I think it's the attendee reception, in about 25 minutes. So be down in the lobby at 5:50. All right? Thanks, everybody. It's been great.